the two words orthognathic surgery first started coming into my world. I got my braces on when I was 12. As I stopped growing at the age of 13, my orthodontist and my dentist started realizing there was something wrong with my mouth. While the rest of my face was maturing and growing into that of an adult, my maxilla bone, it kind of just froze. So my orthodontist proposed that we'd have braces a certain way to try to combat that. So that went on for about 4 years until I was about 16. And the orthodontist basically just looked at me and said, there's nothing more we can do. So I had my braces removed and I realized there was something wrong. My front two teeth, when I'd bite down, they would move. So we quickly went to my dentist. He looked at me and my mother and said, your bite is very dangerous. If you leave it how it is, you'll lose your front two teeth. A few weeks later, I met with my oral surgeon, Dr. Fallon, and he looked at my x-rays and did a couple of tests, and he came back into the room and said that I was a candidate for orthognathic surgery. I'm not a very emotional person, and it takes a lot to get me scared, but in that moment, I felt frightened. I wasn't frightened for the pain. It was more the fact that I knew I'd fall asleep with one face and I'd wake up with a completely different one. My life verse for the past 4 years is Ephesians 6:10. I remember just chanting that in my head, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power, because other than that, I didn't know how I was gonna stay calm. He basically cut my jawbone from here to here completely off, so it was severed from the rest of my skull. He brought it out a few millimeters, and he had made a special type of retainer that would sit on top of my teeth so he could move the jaw exactly where it needed to be for the surgery to be completed. I have a plate here, a plate here, a plate here, and a plate here, and then respectively, I think about 2 screws in each plate keeping it together. At that point, they wire your jaw shut so you can't move it at all, much like a cast. They can't do that on your jaw, so instead they use rubber bands on your braces to tighten you up so you can't speak or open your mouth. And I remember right then and there realizing it was going to be a long road to recovery. The worst was after I regained my energy the next morning, I was finally able to walk into the bathroom and see my face for the first time after surgery. I didn't cry, which was surprising, but it left me feeling pretty hollow inside. Since they brought my upper jaw out, what happened was all the different skin and tendons that was connected with that was pulled out as well. So it didn't just change my profile, it changed the shape of my nose, it changed the shape of my eyes, it changed my cheekbones. It was definitely unnerving, especially with all the swelling. You don't like to see your face like that. I remember the first meal I had was an omelet, and I chewed it for the first time, and I remember looking at my mom and said, Mom, it's my teeth. It's cutting the food. And she kind of went, opposed to what? And I was like, mashing? I finally felt my mouth working for the way it should. So right then and there, I was finally able to see that it was a brilliant choice, and I had a brilliant surgeon, and I have a brilliant God for putting everything in place to teach me everything He did. Be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power, because He will always make sure you're strong enough to fight whatever you need to fight.